Greetings. Everyone said that I was crazy when I speak about how thoughts create our reality. Moreover, when I start teaching that God in man is man's awareness of being. Also, when I start teaching the inner sun science and technology, many people reach out to me asking me if I was a part of any fraternity. Well, I'm very proud to say I am not a part of any fraternity. As a matter of fact, I can remember quite vividly going into the dream world, meeting someone in my country, one who was multi-millionaire, still have a very large building, still operating right now, okay? And when I begin to speak my knowledge and share the wisdom that lies within me, that person was there hiding that secret that she would have kept while she was here. Okay? And so I had an innate ability to know that you should never die with a secret being hidden from the rest of humanity. You have to learn to solve. You have to learn to share, whether they accept or reject, whether they call you crazy or they say blasphemy. Okay? Because, for example, in my country, most people say he lost his mind. He's crazy. He's a crazy man. Okay? Because he do not believe in the tradition, the religious traditions, and the things that was passed down through colonialism and all of these things. So they brand me as a crazy man. So everyone call me crazy. Okay? Yet I continue to use my mind power to create my reality consciously and continue to teach others to do the same. For example, there was a young man in my country who was in debt, over $100,000 in debt. And his parents were vibrating towards secular Christianity, that is pointing them to look outwardly. And when he left his job and was seeking to know himself, I stood with him and encouraged him. And when he started really listening to me, he started to get visitation from the ancestors. And to cut a long story short, he was able to get rid of his debt and right now running a very, very successful business in this island. And you know what? His parents turn around and wants to get involved in his business. Okay? I mean, it was just recently, his father met me and greet me in a very, 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 a bright way, in a very bright way with all smile on his face and so on, okay? But I would have known his father, for many years, okay? Me and his father used to go well before, but I don't want to give out too much on what I'm really talking about. So, my brother, my sisters, I'm doing this video to say that when people do not understand you, they will call you crazy. Okay, when people do not understand you, they would think that you are blasphemous and they would have their own ideas about you. But when you understand energy, vibration, and frequency, you would realize that you are on a different frequency. You would realize that you are vibrating on a higher level, and because they're not vibrating on that level, that same level with you, they will not see eye to eye with you. So you have to have that kind of understanding. Okay, so when you understand human relations, you know how to deal with everyone. That is why the more aware and the more conscious you become of who you are, you would realize that everyone that you're seeing around you is just a different version of your own self. Okay, so you have the rich man, the poor man, you have the beggar man, you have the thief. Okay, all these different states of mind are states of consciousness. It is because of how they arrange their mind in terms of the way they think. Okay, and so they have a mind just like you. They have to go to the toilet just like you. Whether is it the rich man or the poor man and the beggar man or the thief, you still have to go to the toilet. You have to take a nap. You have to sleep at night. You have to wake up. Okay, because there's only one universal consciousness. So everyone you see is just another version of you. That is why you don't go about condemning other people or speak ill about other people. You see, whenever you speak ill about other people, you're speaking against yourself, because you are whatever you are expressing tells of your consciousness, because it is your thoughts. You know, sometimes people fail to realize when they accuse other people of something, it is their thoughts and not the person's thought. You see, when you realize that no one can have a thought for you, okay, you would realize that the greatest thing you have on this earth is your mind. And that is why you have to be in control of your mind and use your mind to do things that are uplifting, things that will bring joy and peace and happiness to others. Okay, instead of using your mind to try to pull others down or to speak ill about others. And unfortunately, you will find most of that gossiping, chattering mindset among people who practice secular Christianity. And so you find people going to church Saturdays and Sundays, but yet they cannot control the tongue by speaking ill. They continue speaking ill even against the people who sit in the same pew with them. And it is because of a lack of knowledge. And so people have been destroyed for lack of knowledge. And that is why they will call you crazy. So my brother, my sisters, when people say, oh, he crazy, he lost his mind, I never make that move me, because I realize where they are living, psychologically speaking. And so, because I've been very faithful in terms of being myself and embracing myself and loving myself and being positive, and also understanding that you can't just be positive all the time, but you have to balance the positive and the negative, and understanding that there's a lot of opposite. All of that kind of understanding is what allowed me to stand in the midst of all criticism and the midst of people saying, oh, he's crazy. You see, all the great men throughout the ages, they would have been called crazy. Like, for example, let's say hundreds of years ago, before the invention of the telephone, if you was to tell someone back in that time that you're going to create a device that would enable you to speak to people all around the world, they would have called you crazy. Okay? Before the invention of the aeroplane, if you was to tell someone that you're going to fly from one country to another country, they will say that you're crazy. Okay? Before the invention, of the television, if you was to tell someone that you can see certain things just by being in one remote area, and you can see the past, the present, and the future. What they call the past, the present, and the future, because there's only now, okay? They would have called you crazy, but the television, when you look at the television or you go on the internet and you look at anything, you can see something that they refer to as the past, or something that they might refer to as the future, okay? But in truth and in fact, time is an illusion. There's only now. For example, if you say yesterday, you're saying yesterday in the present tense. If you say tomorrow, you're saying tomorrow in the present tense. And so when you come to that kind of understanding, then you will understand that the Bible is really a book of mind science, and that there's no special, unique man ever walk this earth with special powers, and he alone have this power, and he died for you on a cross. No. You realize that it is a lie. And it has been misinterpreted to you concerning your body, your anatomy, your physiology, your biology, your psychology. Because the Bible is actually a book of mind science, and everything written in it have to do with your body, okay, your anatomy, your physiology, and so on. So if you never really understand your mind and how your mind works, if you never understand anything about the pineal gland, if you never understand anything about the inner eye, if you never understand anything about the inner sun, if you never understand as it is within, so is it without, if you do not realize that the world that you are beholding on the outside, it actually exists within you. It actually downloaded within you, in your consciousness. So most people think that they're just this little being existing in a vast world. No, this vast world actually exists in you. That is why when you close your eyes at night to sleep, this disappear. Okay? And then you can do everything that you do here, you can actually do it in the dream world. Okay? And you can become so conscious in the dream world that you can actually awake yourself in the dream world and find yourself in another world. Most people don't know anything about that. Also, when you fall asleep, you become unconscious. But I'm telling you from experience, you can fall asleep consciously and you will have a slight moment, couple seconds, where you will be within two worlds, within the world of the conscious and the unconscious, in a magical world whereby anything you wish, it can happen when you get into that world, if you know what to do. There's a certain light in your forehead, which I would not go into much detail about, okay, because I don't want people to practice certain things and certain things happen to them, because if you try to practice what I'm saying here, you can actually find yourself outside of your body, and if you do not know how to get back in your body, you can be terrified and damage yourself, okay, you could even kill yourself. So I'm not gonna go into that, okay. But if you really understand your body and you understand a computer, you realize your body is like a supercomputer. You'll understand that you carry a super infinite intelligence. You'll understand, okay, as I said earlier, just, to make it simple for you, you'll understand that your mind is actually your greatest business. That is why, people, here, they grow up and they hear the old folks say, mind your business, and people think it means that you mustn't look at other people and say things about other people. That's why it means. No, it means that your mind is actually your business. Okay? And business is the greatest profession on earth. For example, in my country, they normally make the children that go to school just a certain way at a certain time, and they call it career, and it is always something have to do with a job. So it means you go to school and then after school you working for someone else. Okay, and people will embrace that, and if I say anything, they'll say, he's stupid, he's crazy, because it's career. But There's never a day in your life without the use of your mind. Therefore, your whole career should be around seeking to know who you are, understanding how your mind works. And as I'm about to come to a close here, because I don't want to go on too much. Okay, when you really understand and learn the secret of the universe and how it actually based on energy, vibration, and frequency, and you understand how to use your mind power to achieve your every desire, you would know that the power that they use to build a bank is the same power they use to build a school. It's the same power they use to build a so-called church. Well, if you understand that power and you know how to use that power,